Good morning, everyone. Chris Parmentier. Week 6, this is it, the last presentation. Last week we spoke about what I do on the military side of my career, but since I'm National Guard, I have a second career on the civilian side, and that's heating and air conditioning. It's something I was taught by civil engineering way back in the day, and then when I got out of the active duty, and I kind of stayed with it before I went back into the National Guard as a crew chief on the 135s. So I'm going to tell you what air conditioning is, the basic concept of it. And it might seem kind of boring for you guys, but I will also throw in what you can do as homeowners to prolong the life of your heating and cooling system, and what you can do to make it maybe just a little bit more efficient for you. So air conditioning was invented in 1902 by Willis Carrier, and it changed the world. Things were pretty rough before then. Now we have high-rise office buildings, luxury homes, those sorts of things. You just could not live in them without air conditioning. And air conditioning is really a pretty simple concept. And I'm going to explain it to you here real quick. I try to draw it up here on the board, and it's basically the refrigeration cycle, or what we refer to as a thermodynamic cycle. Now with air conditioning, you have to understand, we are not creating cold air. We are just moving warm air from a space where it's no longer wanted to somewhere where it doesn't matter. So in residential air conditioning, that would be you're taking the hot air out of your home and you're taking it outside and you're dumping it out into the atmosphere. And we do that through this thermodynamic cycle. And I'll try to explain it to you here pretty in layman's terms. I'm not going to get too much into the engineering part of it, so you can see. So you know everybody has you have an air conditioner outside, you have a furnace, and then on top of the furnace is what's called an evaporator coil. It looks like an A coil, like the radiator of a car. And you have a fan outside, and you have a fan inside. And that's what we're doing, is we're just moving air. Air conditioning, the key to air conditioning is all about airflow. So let's get started here. So let's just say your air conditioning, this is your air conditioner, your compressor. It's a pump. It pumps Freon, or refrigerant, and it pumps it throughout the cycle. And what happens is, as the refrigerant moves through the cycle, through the copper lines that I'm sure you've seen in your house, there's the copper lines that go from outside to inside. There's Freon in there, and it moves just in just a large loop. And that's what I'm going to explain to you here. So this is your compressor. So you turn the air conditioner on, everything starts moving. You have your outdoor fan motors moving, your indoor fan motors moving, both of them are moving. And then just picture these as your copper lines. So here's what you have. So once you turn everything on, the Freon starts to flow. Now refrigerant, not like water boils at 200 something, refrigerant boils at 40 degrees roughly, depending on what type of refrigerant you're using. So if you send Freon through the evaporator coil in your home, it's going through there. This is just a big radiator. And now imagine if you've got the Freon going through there at 40 degrees, back and forth like a radiator, and you're blowing the warm air from inside your home, which is 70 or 75 degrees, you're blowing that over the coil. And as that happens, the refrigerant, it begins to expand just like water. It will steam and expand. And when it's doing that, it's picking up the heat. Remember, it said we're transferring heat, where we're just moving it. And we're doing that by boiling the refrigerant into a, quote, vapor. And and what will happen is it'll pass on, it's multiple passes through here. It takes quite a while. And then it leaves. Here's the compressor. It's still pumping everything all the way through the cycle. And then it comes to your outdoor air conditioner, your condenser. It does exactly that. It condenses your vapor, your vapor, your steam, so to say, back into a liquid in the refrigerant. So as it passes through here, it's just another little radiator, or big radiator, depending on the efficiency of the unit. And as it passes through here and the fan blows the outdoor air over that, it condenses back into a liquid. That's why you have a really small pipe going in your house and a very large pipe. The small pipe is liquid. The large pipe is the gas, is the boiling Freon. And as you see, it'll go through here. It'll be a liquid again. And then it comes back around and makes the loop. Also in the system, a very important component is the thermal expansion valve. It can be in the form of a little piston or an actual thermal valve. It's a metering valve. It has a little pin that goes up and down. It gives you more efficiency, better humidity control. So what will happen is, as it passes through the TXV, which is sized to the type of system you have, it's not one air conditioner fits all. You have different air conditioners for different size homes. So what will happen is, when it goes through here, now you have a combination liquid and vapor. It's making its way back to the evaporator, where we're going to evaporate the heat out of the home back into the refrigerant, and it's going to work its way all the way back around. And it just does this over and over and over. So it's really a pretty simple concept. It just took a while to figure out what cooling medium. You obviously can't do it with water because water doesn't boil until 207 degrees. Well, your home is not going to be 207 degrees indoors. Another thing about air conditioning is sizing is super, super important. A lot of people think the bigger the air conditioner, the better off you are. Well, that's not necessarily true. We do what we do. We run load calculations on every home. Every home is different. You have to take into consideration the insulation factor, the type of windows you have, how large is the home square footage, and these sorts of things. Because if you have an air conditioner that is too big, you're going to have a cold house, but it's going to be wet. It's going to be damp inside because an air conditioner also dehumidifies a home. It's very important. Humidity control is more towards comfort than anything else. So if it's too big, your air conditioner is just going to shut off and on, off and on, off and on all day long, and you're going to have a cold house, but it's going to be wet. Just like if the air conditioner is too small, it will just run and run and run, and it won't keep up with the load. So sizing is very important. So what can you do as a homeowner to make sure your system runs good, runs proper, saves a bit more electricity, that sort of thing? Technology has come a long way since 1902. Back in the day, you would have to call a service technician in once or twice a year to oil all your motors, do those sorts of things, change your filters, wash the unit out. Well, the technology is so good now, really you as a homeowner, you can do what you need to do. Motors are sealed up now. Other than electrical components going bad, which you couldn't do anyway, there really is no need to call a technician out to do what you can do. And by doing what I mean by that is change your furnace filters. I have been on more service calls where the people say, "Oh, my air conditioner's not running." You get to the home, "Hey, when's the last time you changed your filter?" And I get the blank stare, like, "What filter?" Filter's usually downstairs. It's let me see here. I'll see if I can bring it up here for you real quick. The filter is downstairs and it's before the evaporator coil. So imagine this is your furnace right here. This is just your furnace. It's cut. Then here's your A coil I was telling you about, and then here's the ductwork leaving, and then you also have what's called return air, because an air conditioner furnace will suck air in from your home, the warm air, and then blow the cold air out. It's referred to as return air. There's usually a slot right in there, and there's a filter. Pretty simple, 1-inch filter. There's a couple standard sizes. It will say right on the filter what you need to buy. So keep your filter changed religiously. It might not look dirty, but trust me, once a month is a good rule of thumb. If you're a smoker or you live in a construction zone, that sort of thing, do it even more than that. Filters are cheap, $2, and it can save you so much money. Dirty filters cause more damage than anything else. Compressors will overheat, because remember I told you it's all about airflow. The key is airflow. So you want to make sure you've got good air moving. Change your furnace filter. And that's really all you have to do on the inside once a month. And on the outside, on your air conditioner, in the spring and probably halfway through summer, shut everything off on your thermostat, just turn it off, and take a garden hose, stand back a little bit, and just spray it all the way around from the top down. Air conditioners suck in air, so they suck in cottonwood, leaves, debris, that sort of stuff, anything that could be in the air. And then the fins, the radiator fins, get dirty. So just hose it off. I usually hose mine off first thing in the spring before everything comes on, and probably halfway through summer, mid-July, beginning of August, and that'll take care of the rest of the way. And that's really, if you can do those two things, you'll keep your air conditioner, cleaner things run better, car engines, air conditioners, whatever. So you want to do that. Anything other than that, really now you're going to need to call a technician in. So, and there you go. Hopefully you got something out of this basic concept of air conditioning, what you can do as a homeowner to make your stuff run right and run better and more efficient, and hopefully prolong the life of the air conditioner and therefore save you a little bit of money. Thanks for your time. Enjoy being in class with you guys. Best wishes and whatever you got going on after this. Have a nice day.